Chucky's back!
Most horror sequels go bigger. More kills, more characters, higher stakes. But very few sequels manage to also be better than their predecessor. Today we're talking about Child's Play 2, the follow-up to Child's Play. Once again written by Don Mancini, and depending on who you ask, this might be the best film in the entire franchise. It takes everything that worked in the first film, the concept, the tension, and of course Chucky, and refines it into something faster, meaner, and way more fun.
They're goddamn women drivers!
Let's get into this thing. After the success of Child's Play, a sequel was inevitable in a world of slasher franchises. But there were some key changes that went on behind the scenes. Director Tom Holland did not return. The film was instead directed by John Lafia, who co-wrote the first film with Don Mancini and Tom Holland.
The movie came out like November 9th, 1988. It was very successful. So it was within a couple of weeks that they wanted a sequel.
This time, those two wanted to up the quality of the film, particularly with the cinematography.
And John hired Stefan Chbosky, who went on to shoot Batman Returns and Ed Wood. And
this doesn't go unnoticed, because even though the tone shifts slightly, the movie still feels like a natural continuation. Return of the Living Dead was an influence on the film's tone, having comedy, but where the horror is still horror. Another big improvement came from the effects. The team already figured out how to bring the Chucky to life in the first film. Now they could refine it. The animatronics are smoother. The movement is more expressive. Chucky just feels more alive than ever. He also has a few of what they call money shots that are just crazy cinematic shots of Chucky, mainly during the school kill scene.
John was very diligent about having designed specific showcase shots for Chucky.
But these scenes, they're just so iconic. They're burned into people's skulls. They contribute to Child's Play 2 being everyone's favorite. Look how mean Chucky looks here. But either way, Child's Play 2 does something you kind of have to do to make a sequel. It undoes the ending of the first film. The Good Guy Factory rebuilds Chucky piece by piece. And I like this sequence for two reasons. Visually, it's memorable. It's a very fascinating credit sequence that actually holds your attention. And it also reinforces the idea of Chucky being a product for consumers, which just ties it back into the original film again. But more importantly, it gets Chucky back into the story quickly. There's no mystery this time. We know that he's alive, and we know what he wants. Andy is now in foster care after the events of the first film. His mother is gone, no one believes his story, and he's trying to just accept that and move on with his life. Meanwhile, of course, Chucky's back.
What do you want me to do with the doll? Stick it up your ass.
This time, his goal is basically the same goal as the first film. Transfer his soul into Andy before he becomes permanently trapped in the doll.
Yes, I'm trying to reach Andy Barkley.
Andy no longer lives here. Who is this?
This is his uncle, Charles.
Now, the fact that we know that up front, and we don't have the slow burn of the first film with all that tension, it lets you just get right into the fun during this movie. You do have some new and interesting cast members with Jenny Argutter and Garrett Graham as Phil and Joanne Simpson, Andy's foster parents. Christine Ellis joins as Kyle, Grace Zabriskie as the social worker, who you may recognize as Sarah Palmer from Twin Peaks, and Beth Grant as Miss Kettlewell, who I know best as the teacher in Donnie Darko. Child's Play 2 separates itself from the first film in several ways. The first movie is a slow, paranoid horror story, and this one, it's more of a straight-up slasher. Chucky is active much earlier, he's much more aggressive, more talkative, and honestly, overall more entertaining.
I got a new game, Spartan. It's called Hide the Soul. And guess what? You're it.
This is the movie where Chucky really becomes Chucky. He's fully developed as a slasher character. He returns and he brings the same vulgar and violent sensibility that he brought to the first film, but turned up. Of course, he's once again voiced by Brad Dourif, and this movie solidifies just how connected they are. They are one and the same. It's like Freddy Krueger and Robert Englund. You can't separate them.
I'm turning human again? If I don't get out of this body soon, I'm screwed.
The voices are just too iconic. But this time around, he's meaner, he's funnier. Dourif turns Chucky into a character you love to watch, even when he's doing terrible things. The sequel fully ups the ante here. The final sequence in the toy factory really elevates the movie for me too. It's creative, it's unique, but it's also just reminiscent of Terminator, the ending of the first Terminator movie. Chucky gets fucked up here, and when does he not, to be fair? But it perfectly ties back to the idea of Chucky as a manufactured product. It's not just a cool setting, it's thematically relevant, and let's face it, it's painted awesomely. It's visually gorgeous. For a lot of fans, Child's Play 2 is the perfect balance. It still takes the premise seriously, but it also fully embraces the fun of the concept of a killer doll. It's not as slow as the first movie, it's not as comedic as the later ones. It sits right in the middle with tone, and that's why it works so well. Child's Play 2 is one of those rare horror sequels that improves on the original in a lot of ways. It's faster, it's more confident, and it's more memorable. It takes everything that worked in Child's Play and pushes it just far enough without losing what made that movie special. And honestly, if you tell me this is the best movie in the franchise or it's your favorite, I'm not going to argue. Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more ecto-violence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.